Hello, Ernest E.J. Christian here. Just checking in here on the Unfiltered feed. You're probably wondering, you launched this feed or relaunched this feed a couple weeks ago, did a couple episodes, then you just kind of stopped. What's going on? Right now, I'm taking a little break. I just did the main feed, the Ernest Podcast feed. I did an episode a couple days ago called Scaling Back, and basically, that's pretty much an overall view of what I've been doing going forward. But I'm taking a couple weeks off from any sort of media. I think the only commitment I have in the next couple of weeks is actually I'm going to be appearing on the Student Game podcast with our old friend Kyle Nash, doing a quick 15-20-minute segment on the New York Giants as he continues his NFL preview. But other than that, I have no commitments right now, for at least until August 23rd. I'm just taking a little break. I need to balance things out a little bit. It's been, obviously we go hard and heavy on this on the podcast and on this whole thing, especially in September through January with football coming up. So I always typically take a hiatus anyway around this time, but especially now this year with a lot of changes here personally with school and my kids, especially my youngest starting kindergarten this year, double homework now and double the attention I need to give them and schedules and all that. So it's made me reflect and having to prioritize what exactly I'm doing with all these shows. I have commitments this year as it is. Obviously I do, in addition to the Nerd Freak podcast, I also do a wrestling podcast every Thursday, released on Friday, but every Thursday night, Take 3 Wrestling, and that's a commitment I have there every week. Then I've committed this year for a second season on another friend of ours of the pod, Big Jim James Nees, his football podcast. We do every football season, Huddle Up. That's every week as well too. It's on Tuesdays. So I already have a few commitments as this anyway. You have this show, and I spoke on this on the last podcast I did. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it was. That I may need to make some changes. Like last year, for example, I had started doing a football-centric show called Football's Awesome, and that went well. What you don't know is there are parts of the season where I did get burnt out because I was running hard on that show. I was doing Huddle Up as well with Jim. I was doing Take 3, and then of course the commitment to this podcast, the Thursday podcast, and all that. So I have not made a final decision yet on this, but I am, as I said on the show, I'm 95%, I'm now close to 97% now, sure, that I am probably not bringing back Football's Awesome this year, just because I need to keep the palate clean, I need to keep things balanced. That show is a commitment in itself, and in fact, I'll go so far as to say that's actually a longer commitment because there's a lot more production that goes into that show because it's, that show is not just one straight shoot of talking. It's literally 3 different segments, that you have to put together, make sure you get scheduled together, and then you got to put, edit all together and put it out by Wednesday. And I don't know if I want to keep, I don't know if my schedule this year with all the things that I need to accomplish this year is going to allow that without me getting burnt out. So I want to get ahead. At this point, want to get ahead of the curve right now on a lot of these things. I want to listen to my body. I want to listen to my mental health. And because I love podcasting, I do love podcasting, but I don't want to fall off the wagon. I want to continue doing it, but I want to keep doing it in a way where it's healthy, and it's also in a way where I strike a balance between my life and other things. One of the things with, I'm learning with after COVID, we say after COVID because COVID's still going on, but one of the things that I've learned and started to realize after 2 years of the pandemic, over 2 years of the pandemic rather, can't believe it's been 2 years, unbelievable, is that family's important, friends are important, and being away from people I love and care about, and being forced away from people I love and care about, the podcast, while it was therapeutic, and it kept some of those bonds together, I still don't want to utilize all of my me time doing podcasts, and that was the case last year. Every little time I had to myself, my family, if they're in school and whatever it may be, it was dedicated to podcasting. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but And I was bragging about also too, like, for example, like, with my kid going to kindergarten, is going to open up more time for me to do other things. I can do more podcasts, but then that will kind of defeat the purpose of what I'm trying to do personally. Going out with my friends and visiting my mom on those days and taking her out to lunch or breakfast. Things like that. That like I said, striking a balance. That also important. So, like I said, I have not made a final decision yet on that, whether I'm going to do that or not. But I'm most likely not going to bring back Football's Awesome. I'm going to commit to the things I've already committed to this year. We'll continue doing the free-flowing conversations we've been doing for the last 11 years in this podcast, Anniversary Podcast, and this feed. I'm utilizing this feed, of course, too, as well, in terms of short-centric, topics, which isn't really that time-consuming anyway. I could do this on the road like I'm doing right now, or I could do it in the studio or whatever it may be, so... But again, I want to thank you guys, for understanding, and thank you guys for downloading. By the way, we are actually about 4 subscribers away from 100 on our YouTube page, or Speaking YouTube page. Please subscribe to that, please. We'd love to have your support, and we're going to continue doing this. This media, this little combination of sports, culture, and pro wrestling, and entertainment and all that stuff. We continue bringing the goods here. But I would say I want to do it in a healthy way, in a balanced way, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So I guess enjoy your rest of your weekend. We'll see you in a few weeks when we get back to the grind, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.